Hi, my name is Mikabella, and I am a writer for Mixdown's music feature section. Today, I am here with Shawna Potter from War on Women. Hi, Shawna. How are you?
Hi, Mikabella. Thanks so much for having me.
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for making the time.
Happy to.
And so, we are here to talk about the band's new single, Precious Problem, which came out a little less than 2 weeks ago on November 12th. But before we get into that, I want to ask a little bit about you because I saw that outside of War on Women, you are an author, you have your own podcast, But Her Lyrics, you run your own business, Big Crunch and Prepare, and you're also an intimacy coordinator and ordained to perform marriage ceremonies.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you juggle it all and what life entails for each member of War on Women off stage? Because they've got these incredible careers as well. And
Yeah.
how does that shape your guys' approach to music?
Well, I think it's a result of music not paying our bills, really,
Exactly.
is what it comes down to.
Yeah, fair.
Happy for that to change, with this new album, that's fine, but also I have realistic expectations.
Hmm.
And we all do. We all just love to play music, and we've all been doing it a long time. And we love this band, and we love this new song and this new album. But we have to pay the bills and have something to do in between chores. So, most of my time these days is spent as an intimacy coordinator. That is the thing that I have been training for and concentrating on, and kind of it's a career shift for me. So everything else I don't do as much, but I'm still involved in managing the amp shop and still repair stuff sometimes. I'm there almost every Saturday. Um, I haven't done a wedding in a long time, but I'd love to. If anyone's listening, I actually really love performing marriage ceremonies. I love love. I think it's really beautiful to take part. And there's always like, cake and champagne and stuff too.
Yeah, food,
Um,
everything.
but the other members of the band, I mean, so the amp shop I run with our other guitar player, Brooks Harlan.
Hmm.
He is the lead tech. He's the main dude. He not only fixes stuff, but he designs and builds custom designed amps.
So
And so
cool.
that's why if you see us playing Big Crunch amps live, that's why we sound so good and why everything's always working. Um, Jenarchy, our other guitar player, does a lot of different things, and so I actually feel ill-equipped to name them all, but Girls Rock Camp is one of those cool
Hmm.
things. Sue does something with computer science that is somehow
Yes.
related to Johns Hopkins. She tells me about her job, and
Yeah.
I don't always totally understand it. But
Hmm.
I know she works with big data sets, whatever that means. I know it's important, and it's like space related, maybe in the
Yes.
end.
I saw a NASA tie possibly, and I was like, this band's the coolest.
And Dylan, our current drummer, does a lot of like writing, I think, for
Mhm.
hire. So, um, it's not as interesting in my opinion, and I hope he does hear that. No, I'm just kidding. But no, the it's a joke. But it's something he can do while on tour.
Yeah.
And I think for the rest of us, our jobs are almost impossible to do while we're on tour, and which makes
Mhm.
it interesting and difficult, but also makes me work really fucking hard in between
Yeah.
tours. And then when I'm on tour, it's okay, well, time to have fun and do a good job and just worry about the music.
I mean, you would think, it's so hard to, obviously music isn't going to pay the bills every single time, but to have so much going on and still see the level of dedication. I was watching some of your guys' live performances. You guys are so locked in, and it's like crazy to think that you've got all this other stuff going on, but I mean, it pays off. You guys sound incredible. The energy is amazing. So
Thank you.
it's honestly so fascinating. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Um, so speaking of tour and all that, it's been 5 years since your band has released music, the last album being Wonderful Hell in 2020. What was it like coming back together again to create Precious Problem, and how does this song kind of set the tone for the band's future?
Yeah, I think we it was interesting to like so Wonderful Hell was the last record that we were kind of like obligated to make for our last
Mm,
label, right?
yeah.
Like we completed the contract
Hmm.
and we have nothing but love for Bridge 9 Records, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But we fulfilled the contract, so we were like, what if we tried something else? What if we went somewhere else? But we had no pressure to write and no timetable. And clearly we took advantage of that.
I mean,
But
it paid off. It's awesome.
but it was, so we could all just get in a room and work shit out together.
Hmm.
Um, and it was a really cool, it, just felt very songwritery versus piecemeal, which it can sometimes be like that, where everyone has a riff and we're working from all these separate parts. Something about this felt a little more like a group effort, which was nice. So, uh, but yeah, I can't believe it took this long. That's not what you asked, but I can't believe it took this long, and I'm really ready for people to hear
Yeah.
the entire album. I think Precious Problem, I think that the first single, it still sounds like us.
Hmm.
Um, Hopefully it shows like this hint of growth, but I think there's actually more growth and more surprises on the rest of the album that people might not be fully anticipating.
Yeah, I mean, I was like the intro in itself because I was listening to like a ton of your guys' other stuff, and it's such a like awesome contrast because I was
Mhm.
waiting for like this sucker punching intro, you guys just going off the rip, and it was kind of like these lo-fi tones, and then you like went into it. So I love what's to come, the fact you
Cool.
guys took your time, you can definitely tell you you know, as you said, you had a little bit more freedom and you could make the time and choose what to write and everything. But I'm excited. I really love seeing your guys' growth. And I mean, in the last 5 years, the world has
Oof.
changed. Yeah. And that's what I also wanted to talk to you about too.
Let's oof it out, Michaela.
Yes.
Mikabella, sorry,
Um,
Mikabella.
no, you're fine. But before that, I wanted to quickly mention that I saw this New York Times roundtable where you kind of spoke about seeing Courtney Love Hole's performance on
Yeah.
MTV, Doll Parts, and how like seeing her changed your kind of perception of what a woman in music can kind of be like. So,
Yeah.
what about that performance influenced you specifically? Because I mean, Courtney Love, she's everything.
Yeah, she's a force,
Yes.
clearly. But I think maybe it's because I just hadn't seen anything like that on TV at
Hmm.
the time. Like I even kind of remember seeing, I remember some of the music videos that I would watch, just in case anyone's listening under a certain age, like MTV used to exist and it played music
Yeah.
videos all the time. And that's how you discovered new music. It's how you saw what the bands look like. And it was a big deal, a big
Hmm.
deal. But anyway, so I remember old videos and other bands, and I remember even like Joan Jett, I Love Rock and Roll would come on, and I
Yeah.
just wouldn't kind of it's like, oh, okay, this is just a song. Cool, got it.
Hmm.
But there's something about when I saw Doll Parts for the first time, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're telling me women can play rock and roll? Like, I don't know. And it's not just because Joan Jett is a little butch. Like, I knew she was a woman, but something
Yeah.
about it, like maybe just because the whole stuff was just like more raw and like obviously has a different vibe than I
Yes.
Love Rock and Roll.
Yes.
And the rawness, I think, the messiness really
Hmm.
drew me in. The maybe it's the idea that, didn't have to be perfect. And it was like a fucked up feminine thing happening and then also by the end you can tell like she is fucking wailing, right? Like
Uh-huh.
and it's not just anger, it might be anguish too, but it is deep and it is powerful. And yeah, guess that's me, trying to analyze it all these years
Yeah.
later. at the time I was just a kid and I was just like, oh, I gotta get a guitar. I gotta I gotta do that. I want to do that.
And I know what you're talking about. I watched that one clip out of the session, and I like to, I mean, in that time to see her kind of, like you said, be imperfect and kind of just like the way she would go like do and like wanted to be kind of, bratty and over it.
Yes.
There wasn't this idea she had that it had to be this way. It's like, this is my song, it's our time. I'm gonna sing it my way. And so seeing it at that time, especially being a young woman, I mean, it makes sense.
It
Why
put me
she,
on a trajectory, that
yeah,
is for sure. Yeah.
awesome. Okay, so going on to the world and your past repertoire, I want to start on your 2015 album, self-titled War on Women,
Okay.
which nails abortion rights right on the head with great tracks like Roe v. World and Pro-Life question mark. Your album cover is also a clear reference to women being seen as baby machines or factories. How did creating that album feel for you at the time, and how does it feel now with the recent overturn of Roe v. Wade?
Mm. I mean, I think even then, when did that album come out? Like 2013 or something? Even then, I was like, wow, people have been fighting for this stuff for so long
Hmm.
that I can't believe that my band in this year uh, is still, that we're still worried about, that we're still fighting to uphold at the time the right that we still had
Hmm.
and the erosion of that right, depending on what state you lived in or who was president. And to think that it wasn't just a done deal and that we had to keep fighting. And also that sometimes people would call us crazy for you know
Being,
sounding the alarm of like, no, 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 this is not set in stone, like this could be taken away. And clearly,
Mhm.
unfortunately, we were right. But um even then I was like, why do I have to talk about this? Haven't we dealt with this yet? And so to think all these years later, almost, like a decade later, the fact that Roe v. Wade is gone, what?
it's, I mean,
When does it end? When can citizens just have autonomy, And when can people's religion make their way out of governance or whatever the smartest way to put that is? I don't
no, I know
know.
what you mean. Like, it was this right we had that was constantly somehow always up for debate. And what
Yeah.
about this special circumstance? And when people, like, I definitely get that feeling, like people thinking you're crazy because you're, bringing awareness to it, like, hey, this is still ours and it matters, and we're gonna
Hmm.
fight like hell to keep it, obviously. And, fast forward 10 or so years, now it's gone. And this is just such a terrifying reality for so many women.
Yeah.
So, what would you say We're on Women 2025 has to
Mm.
say about this new battle ended to the ongoing war against women?
I won't speak for the band. We don't have another abortion song on the new album that I know of, but people can always interpret stuff. You never know how
Yeah.
people will hear it or respond to it. Because I feel like I've written three songs now that relate to reproductive rights, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't have another angle to talk about, like to sing about.
Hmm.
Um, so please just listen to all those other songs, and also the song Childbirth on Capture the Flag. So you got three
Yeah.
songs from us to listen to if you need to. But I think what I'm thinking right now is fuck you, we're gonna do it anyway.
Hmm.
Right? So that's very of the organization that's called Shout Your Abortion. Uh, you can have pills mailed to you so that you can do your own abortion at home. There are still places you can go. There's still resources out there, people that want to help. There are mutual aid funds for this sort of thing to pay for expenses. So it's very, fuck you, we're going to do it anyway. And I love the organization Shout Your Abortion. They've been very kind to our band. They've given us like cool swag to wear and
Love
stuff. And
that.
one of my favorite things they've given us is a shirt that just says "Laws aren't real." And for me, what that means is, it's people, imperfect people are the ones that decide what laws are,
Hmm.
and they're actually not set in stone or come from some higher
Hmm.
place. It's people that make up laws. And so if people can be fucked up or have fucked up ideas or want to hurt people, want to discriminate, are misguided, whatever, like then they're going to create laws that hurt people. And in my personal opinion, it's our moral duty to uh, break the law if a law is immoral,
Hmm.
Like, fuck it. We're going to do it anyway.
Exactly. Like, I think you only have one life, and this world is gonna, come at you in so many different ways. I think the biggest takeaway, especially like listening to that song, I mean, like, and imagining that time when that song came out and like listening to it now, I'm just like, did no one listen? Like, because there was also this kind of shock to
We're
some
not that big
people.
of a band, so the answer is no. No one, not enough people listened. Or, the people that already agreed with us were listening, but it never made its way to Bush Jr. I don't think he ever heard our heard our album.
But still, it's like it like for the people who are surprised and new listeners that will see this and learn a lot more about you guys, like there was this shock that came to people, and it's like you were singing about this in 2015. People were fighting it since the precedent was set,
Oh, I
and
mean, decades
like
and decades and
yeah,
decades
decades.
before
I don't
me.
want to
Yeah.
butcher the date, but decades and
Yeah.
decades ago. So I think just knowing that, there are people who support women and are thinking about them constantly, and anyone facing any sort of situation with what's going on right now, it's all we can hope for. The community's still there, and we just got to roll with the punches. So
Mm.
I, yeah, thank you for giving me your take in the 2025 version.
Yeah, I mean, like it's like, we're just a band, right? As individuals, we can do things like donate and protest and stuff like that, but sometimes the thing that a band can offer or an artist can offer is the storytelling aspect, the
Mhm.
raising awareness, or just validating what the listener is feeling and giving you an outlet to express what you're feeling because you can rage along with us. So hopefully those
Exactly.
songs help in that way.
You know what? Sometimes having the right thing to rage to is enough. That's the best thing, honestly, when you stumble across the perfect song to rage.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy to help with that.
So, I mean, another amazing song to range is from your 2020 album, Wonderful Hell. And also, I want to mention to listeners your 2018 album, Capture the Flag. You've got Predator in Chief. And then going now to the 2020 album, Wonderful Hell, I want to talk about The Stolen Land
Okay.
because while being incredibly relevant at the time, it's now a reality, especially with the holiday
Hmm.
tomorrow.
Hmm.
And just like as a whole, seeing your discography, how does it feel to see so many of the things you fought and warned against come true? And have you guys noticed a shift in your fan base at all?
That's interesting. I mean, I think any political band is going to feel like, whoa, why isn't anyone listening to us? A little bit,
Yeah.
because we're really just like remarking on what's happening.
Hmm.
We can't control it or change it, you know, by ourselves with just a song, right? But when the world is getting worse
Hmm.
and closer to fascism and dictatorship
Hmm.
and just not giving a shit about people, then yeah, songs from a decade ago are still going to be relevant because things haven't gotten better. They have gotten worse. And it doesn't mean they can't get better from here. We're just in a low valley right
Yes.
now. So, um, I don't know. I think our audiences kind of depend on who we're playing with.
Mm,
And in a way, I think that's really cool because that means that there's a lot of different kinds of people and a lot of different music fans that dig us. Like
nice.
our audiences are not homogenous. So I really like that. It's fans of old school punk, it's fans of new, harder, heavier, crustier punk than us. A lot of like gender minorities and gender nonconforming folks, um, and different ages, different races, like all
Mhm.
these beautiful things. Um, so I don't know. I would hope that I feel like 2016 was a big year for people, that election year, that
Mhm.
with the results, they either were galvanized to get involved, become more aware, or for some people like myself that had already been like an activist for a long time, I was like tired.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I need to take a little while off. I need to pass the baton a little
Mhm.
bit, give myself a break
Yeah.
because I've been fucking fighting to make things better and they literally just got worse overnight.
Mhm.
Um, and so I had to sort of mentally take a step back, um, in order to, because I'd burned myself out too,
Yeah.
So I'm feeling a little more resilient, a little more involved again. In the last year or so, I've done, I've been to protests, I've gotten arrested in DC,
Yeah.
like I've done a few things, and then I also kind of learned that it's okay as a musician to just maybe sometimes you are just storytelling and
Mhm.
that you don't have to do everything else related to activism. I'm literally looking at a poster right now of something called the social change ecosystem.
Ooh.
And it's really just this idea that there's like 9 or 10 different roles people can take when we're working towards social change and social justice. And one of those roles is a storyteller, right? To just spread the word about something. And there's like also frontline responders and builders and caregivers, disruptors and visionaries and blah blah blah. I'm just reading it now, but
No, I love
but
it. I love
I
hearing that.
realized that like, oh, I actually do more than just tell stories. Um, and I also have the benefit of having done this a long time where I can be a guide. Like
Mhm.
that's one of the roles. I can actually just give advice and like share my experiences and like help others do more disruptive work or experimental work in this area. And it's okay that I'm not a caregiver, that that's not my
Yeah.
thing. For example. So, um, I'm way off topic now, I think,
No, no,
but
no.
I guess the point is that everybody can do something, no one can do everything, and it's okay to find your lane and figure out what's gonna work and to not give up fighting completely.
Mhm.
I think we're all worth fighting for.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you brought up the social movement diagram.
Social change ecosystem.
Social
Yeah.
change ecosystem, because like you said, especially so many people in my friends and family, felt that same burnout. We'd been going to the protests, doing everything in our power, more or less, and feeling that way. And like what you were saying, well, I'm just a storyteller, but then you had to think about, well, that's like my power right now. That's my
Yeah.
superpower, and I'm going to use it to my fullest potential. So I think a lot of people can benefit from, like I mean, not us telling them it's okay, but just knowing
Sure, yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
need to be,
Everything to everyone all the time.
exactly. It still matters. It's still just as powerful. And in the time period we are in now, I think it's more important than ever to be like, it's still okay. Like, we still got it. You still do your best in whatever way you can, and we keep it moving. That's all we can really hope for.
Yeah, because if we don't fight, then they're just gonna roll over us. Like it's gonna get worse even faster. So any
Yeah.
resistance we can offer is good and helps someone. We can't prevent every atrocity.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I wish we could, but we can move the needle and make it better than it would be if we just fucking showed our belly and was like, okay, do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And um, I want to mention I love the use of the children's choir singing "This Land Is Your Land" at the
Yeah.
beginning of that, and then it just like warping down, and then you guys coming in.
Yeah.
That was so powerful, and I think like very symbolic of how, it's just accepted that this is this great thing that we did. We've got little kids
Right, right.
like singing these songs and it's adorable. But then it's like, well, let's, break it down and see what this really means. So I love that. That was so genius. And yeah, I really like that.
Thank you. That
Um,
was my idea. Yay.
well, I noticed it and it was a great idea.
Thank you.
Um,
And we had
with
to like
that,
manipulate that, by hand. It's not like we had Rosie, my dog. That's my dog. You hear my dog?
hi
Um,
Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. She's angry that someone is living their best life outside making noise. But you get a treat and then you're quiet. There you go. Okay. Um, but yeah, it's like it's not like we could like press a button in Pro Tools and it like did that perfectly. Like we had to like find the right slow down, the right pace and like dial it in and like so it was a little more work than just be like, here's an app for that. So I want to give Brooks credit for basically hearing me be like, no, 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 do it like this. Whoa, 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 whoa.
It's
Like
such a
mouthing it and
talent.
him going, okay, I'll try and figure that out.
Like how we're like just um cooperating with our I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the word, but working together with people in music and then you be like,
Mm.
no, 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 I want this one thing, and them like being like, okay, like I know exactly
I
what you
know.
mean somehow. And he
Yeah,
did it
yeah,
perfectly. Like
yeah.
it was great.
Not the first time that I have had to sing some sort of instrumentation to Brooks, and he had to be like, "Okay, let me see if I know what you're talking about. Let me figure this. What would that sound like on guitar? What would that sound like on a keyboard? Yeah, we that's one of our tricks.
I mean, the
That's why
vision's
we
there.
write music together. Like this is not our first band together.
Mhm.
We've been playing music together for a long time. We have a really good like mind meld going on, sharing the load of uh songwriting and ideas and all of that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. And especially you guys being each other's translators in the realms that
Hmm.
you guys cover. That's great.
For sure, for sure.
Okay, I want to finish off on revisiting Precious Problem again.
Okay.
And would you say it's a good snippet of what's to come from a future album? Because it has such a different sound. Like you said, you guys took your time and didn't have a deadline really. It was like all on you guys. So I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, I think there are elements of that song. Each element, there's probably a whole song that's more like that on the album. So we have this kind of like bridge that's like slowed down, rock and roll, meaningful kind of
Mhm.
thing. And like there's a couple songs that have more of a general rock and roll vibe. Um, More singing than yelling. But then we also have like the fast, like da 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 kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
stuff again, stuff that sounds historically like us. But and the use of like electronic stuff, which I guess we have all these glimpses, all these things have been present in all the albums, and we've always been capable of it. It's actually what Brooks and I used to do more of in our old band. And when we started War on Women, we kind of pared things down and we were like, let's straight ahead punk, like let's not, no bells and whistles. But as we keep writing songs and writing albums for Warren Women, we keep like adding stuff or making the songs more complicated or adding more harmonies or to just because if we made the same record over and over again, we would be bored and
Uh-huh.
other people would be too. So we're just trying to keep it interesting and write the best songs we can. And this time around, we had the time to do that.
Yeah, and I definitely noticed it with your vocals in particular. I think in some of the other songs I heard, there was a different ratio to the band and you, and it was sometimes equal, sometimes it was a little higher than the rest. But I loved how your voice came across on this song.
Thank you. Do you mean volume or like pitch, like the note?
Volume.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I guess, this is mixed a little bit more like a rock record. So
Yes.
my vocals aren't sitting in the mix as much as they have
Hmm.
previously. It's a little bit on top, just a little bit because we want people to hear it,
Yeah.
Like we worked hard. I worked hard on melodies and the word and the words. Like I want people to hear it. And most people you know, honestly gravitate towards the words of a song. Like if you're a musician, you might gravitate towards whatever instrument you play, but the majority of people, all they're really kind of hearing is the words. So we wanted to not hide them
Yeah.
from everyone.
I loved seeing that change and what you were saying about how you and Brooks, try not to get too over the top in what you add. I think that's like what sets you apart. When I was first starting to listen to some of your songs, I was like, there's so many things going on, but it works and it creates like this perfect storm. If you can't hear the lyrics or whatever, like you feel that whatever you're
Mm,
talking about, if you just want something to listen to while you're doing something, it like you feel that. So it's definitely an appreciated little pizzazz you guys throw on
Thank
there.
you. I know I have a tough time. People, if I meet someone, oh, you're in a band. What kind of band are you in? And I say a punk band, but I feel like punk is kind of limiting. And I used to say I'm in a hardcore punk band, and I guess that's true. But Mikabella, if you know of a better term for what
I
genre
was
we are, I'd
going to
love to
ask
hear
you.
it.
Yes. Okay. So that was one of my things because I saw so many descriptors. So I actually was going to ask you if would you describe We're on Women as a co-ed feminist post-hardcore punk rock band? That's what I
I
found.
guess so, but who the fuck wants to say that?
I don't
Like
know.
it's
And
not
like,
gonna work. I guess, if more people listen to this album, if than previous albums, maybe it's okay that we're just war on women
mhm.
and we're not a genre. And if everyone that listens is on board with that description, then I will take it. It's whatever we all decide together is fine with me if we can all agree. I just don't think we can all agree.
Yeah, because
But
I was gonna
but we're
throw that
lefty,
into
so what are you gonna do?
yeah, and I was gonna throw that in on the intro. I'm like, it's gonna take me a minute just to even say the band
Yeah,
name because I'm just saying all that.
I
But it's like what you're
know.
saying. Like you guys have so many different elements to the songs. Like you throw in so many like mixed genres.
Yes.
And for the people who are like sticklers for genre specifications, well, like you said, it's not fully punk. I heard this, I heard that.
Right, right.
So co-ed feminism or co-ed feminist post-hardcore punk rock band. That is
Okay.
everything I
That'll
saw.
work for now. That'll be our working definition for now. Thank you so much.
I, I love that.
I mean, it just, it shows that everyone in the band listens to a lot of different kinds of music and we
Mhm.
all bring our influences and then
Yes.
that's its own special recipe when we all come together and things meld in that way. So there's that. And then there's also like, well, we would just be bored if we were writing the same song over and over again. And frankly, I love punk, obviously, but my
Yeah.
version of punk growing up was more about the idea and the rebellion and the
Mhm.
rejection of the status quo, and a little less about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of open to things having a punk vibe or a punk ethos over just like music genre. And but the punk bands I did like, if they were right, I'm not gonna name. I'm not going to name specific bands because it would
Yeah.
be shitty. But
No.
if they, some bands do write the same song or same album over and over again, and I usually would only have the one cassette tape, one CD. And I was like, that's good. I don't actually need anything else from their catalog.
Yeah.
This album is enough. I have this one album and I'm good. I don't need anymore. So
And
I don't like that.
yeah.
I think it's fun to grow and change with a band and see what else they have for me.
Exactly. And I think that's a very fair assessment to make. If they've got a specific style and setup that they want to continue on using, that is great. But you just need the one cassette tape. You just need the one CD. And it's beautiful because,
And everyone's different. Everyone can have their
yes.
own opinion on that. That's fine. You can have every single AC/DC album and love every single song, I guess. I will, I'll take just a couple few and then a
Mhm.
greatest hits and then I'm probably good. I don't need all. No, I actually don't know how many albums they have. If it's 10 or 20, I
I
don't know,
couldn't
but
tell you either.
but you get what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
and I love AC/DC,
Mhm.
right? But I'm not going to listen to every single album they've ever released top to bottom because
Yeah.
every song sounds like AC/DC.
It does. It does. And aren't they like the
Do we cut
longest?
this? Are we going to get AC? We're going to get haters. I want to be clear.
We,
I've seen them live. I love them. Okay, this
yes.
is with love. Please don't come at me, bro.
No, we are fans, but we just don't have every single song memorized.
I
And
can't
it's okay.
afford every fucking CD and every song of
Exactly.
every band. If other, okay, period, the end. I'm done. I'm done. I'm
We got
done.
it. We love AC/DC. You
There's
guys,
our
your songs
rage
are great.
clickbait. Yeah.
Much love to you guys. Um, but uh, going back to War on Women and what's to come, is there anything else you wanted to add that listeners or new people can get excited for?
Yeah, I mean, this new song means a new album.
Yeah.
So in 2026, we're gonna have more singles and a full-length album that people can get. We'll go on a tour, of course, in the US, hopefully, and Europe and UK as well. Are in talks right now. And so we just hope to tour a lot and we want to come to your town. And if we do, please buy an album or a shirt because that really helps touring bands. And I'm just excited for people to hear this music that we've had for years now, waiting to share it with everyone. I'm so excited it's finally coming out, and then also be excellent to each other.
Yes, and I want to tell you, you have a new fan in my mother. So when you come to Arizona, we in 2026, we are going to your show.
Yes.
She's a Mexican immigrant single mother. So when I was putting her onto on some of these songs, she's like, you know what? I listened to the B-52s growing up. This is kind of like that. And I was like, yes.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool, mom.
Yeah,
Love
so
it.
we are just as excited and looking forward to the new tour and the new album for sure.
Hmm.
And it's just honestly been such a pleasure talking to you. And thank you for being so understanding and flexible with computers and my
It's
limited
always something.
understanding of
Don't
them.
worry. Don't worry about that. I look forward to meeting your mom and everyone else's mom that's listening to this. Come to the show, bring your moms. I want to high five them.
Absolutely.
And yeah, can't wait. 2026, here we come.
We love it. Awesome. So I hope you have a great rest of your day and some good food in the coming days, which is, definitely something we can all look forward to.
I'm looking forward to the gathering community part
Yes,
of this holiday.
me
That's
as
okay with
well.
me. That's okay
Yeah.
with me. Yeah, really nice to meet you, Mikabella. Thank you so much for the chat.